Thank you very, very much.
Now, the 16th Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka since September 2021, Mr. Ajith Nivard Cabraal, is the chief guest at our awards event this evening. He concurrently also serves in the Cabinet of Ministers of the Government of Sri Lanka. He's a chartered accountant by profession, and he was recently appointed as an honorary patron of CMA Sri Lanka by the Governing Council. He's also founder and fellow member of CMA Sri Lanka. He has, in the past, served as the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka and of the South Asian Federation of Accountants. Our chief guest and patron of CMA Sri Lanka speaks next.
But just before he does, we would like once again to invite Professor Lakshman R. Wattawala to briefly come across to the lectern for another word or two before our chief guest addresses this audience.
Honorable Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Mr. Ajith Nivard Cabraal, our IFAC President, Mr. Alan Johnson, Professor Mervyn King, and the many other distinguished invitees, including the Chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Colombo Stock Exchange, and other distinguished invitees. I think I owe a word of grateful thanks to the Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka for accepting our invitation to be here at this CMA Sri Lanka Excellence in Integrated Reporting Awards 2021. And as I told the Governor, it's the 7th time that we are having it, and I'm indeed happy that every year we have been doing it. Our judges, who are both local and international, have always said that it is improving, and we have done extremely well. As a result, that this year, where we had the top 10, we are now having 5 excellence awards. So that shows the caliber and the importance of integrated reporting. The other, of course, as mentioned by both Professor Mervyn King and also Mr. Alan Johnson, who are really the topmost people in integrated reporting and also in the accounting profession. I think they have kindly consented to be present, Honorable Governor, for this event, showing the importance of integrated reporting. I think all of them spoke of the importance of value reporting, the value that is created by organizations. And I think most of them are here from the private sector, but we have also a few from the public sector. And I must say that, and you must be proud that some of those organizations are coming under your purview as the regulator from the central bank, the banks and financial organizations. They are really the organizations that are preparing very high quality reports. I'm sure from the results that you will see today that you will be able to see as to how well they are doing. So this goes to show that our organizations, public sector especially, if they are regulated, they are able to perform very well. So the Honorable Finance Minister has said that he should restructure organizations. I'm sure that if you have a tough regulator, then he can see that all these state institutions that are losing would be able to at least break even or become profitable. So, Honorable Governor, I hope that you can tell the success that the central bank has had as a regulator, and that this would be a very, very important matter. Of course, today, a lot of them are speaking. I know you are the main spotlight in all these events. But I would like to, as I said earlier, the private sector will be able to help you a great deal. Today, all those companies that are present here are those who have created value for their stakeholders and society, which I think is something that you as the governor, as well as the country needs. the people who create value. So, if they are prepared to certainly help you in these very difficult times that we are. In fact, I told them that they should not complain. Today we need the foreign exchange, and all exporting companies, increase your exports by 50%, and I am sure that you will provide them the raw material, the exchange to import the raw material. I think that's how the private sector should speak. That's why I said, I was also chairman of the BOI, of course you know very well, that one of the largest, the organizations that are having the most number of exporters, because that happened because during my time we really set up the 200 garment factories program, today the largest export item in this commodity in this country. And if they get hold of these investors and say that immediately you should increase your exports by 50%, certainly I think most of the problems that have been faced will be able to be resolved. And I'm sure, Governor, that you will be able to help them, because not to come and complain that they have foreign exchange, but we will give you, but you bring that exchange to the country, you export and bring it in, and I think your problems will be sorted out. So I think that's the way that we should do, and I'm sure all those who are present here, who have created value, will be able to help you in this very, very crucial moment. And I'm sure that as Sri Lankans, we will all rally around and see that Sri Lanka will be able to really perform well, and then show the others also that we have the people, we have the talent, and we also have the proper leadership that will be able to do this. So I'm sure, Honorable Governor, I know that you are very, very pressed with all these things, but don't worry. All those who are present here, who have created value, will certainly give you all the support. And I'm sure that you all will all agree, because I'm also speaking, because I'm not a person from the public sector, but I'm a person from the private sector who has sacrificed, as I told earlier, 20 years to serve the public sector and to grow it. That's how we have to work. Now, our Honorable Governor, one of the qualified accountants, chartered accountants, management accountant, and a patron of CMA. I'm sure that you can really show the way how it can go. And we are there to support, because if we do not support, then we will not be able to do justice to our country. So please, I think I am just making this appeal to all of you. You all are today being respected for the value that you have created, and that this value that you will create in order that Sri Lanka will be able to see prosperity. Thank you very much.
Lakshman almost made my speech. Thank you very much. My friend, Mr. Lakshman, Professor Lakshman Watawala, the President of IFAC, Mr. Alan Johnson, Professor Mervyn King, Mr. Hinanayaka Bandara, the President of CMA as well as President of SAFA, the Chairman of the SEC, Mr. Viraj Jayaratna, and my dear friends. It's always a pleasure to be around with my fraternity of accountants, and I'm pleased that I have this opportunity to speak a few words at this important occasion when the CMA is celebrating the 7th time that it is making integrated reporting awards. I believe it's a milestone which we all need to be happy about, as well as the fact that it has been now embraced by so many companies to show how they are reporting. It means that the culture of integrated reporting is now being captured in our society. I believe it is necessary for all companies to be accountable as well as to show responsibility. And in that sense, showing how they have performed in several spheres is indeed something that we all must be happy about. And in so doing, the contribution made by CMA is indeed something that we must all recognize. But it comes naturally for Lakshman. I have known him from the time he was the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants long years ago. And I had the privilege of serving in his council, and I have seen the energy that he has in doing anything that he is setting out to do. And that's something that we all need to try and emulate, because his energy is infectious. And I believe over the last several years, through the CA, to the AAT, to the CMA, and so many other organizations that he has been heading, he has been able to inculcate that spirit, which I think is highly infectious as well as important for everyone. So whilst thanking Lakshman, I would also like to speak just a few words about the way I see integrated reporting. I believe a lot has been said by Professor Mervyn King, as well as by the president of IFAC, Alan Johnson, where he has captured the essence of integrated reporting, so I won't go into that. But I'd like to share with you a few thoughts about reporting in general, which I believe is important when we are aspiring for accountability. My view is that not only should we be looking at the past and reporting on the past, we need to look at the future as well. That's sometimes part of our management skills that we don't use effectively enough. I have made it a point at the Monetary Board as well, which I've had the privilege of chairing for a long time, to focus 75% of the time on the future, so that we take into consideration the events that may occur, that are likely to occur, and take steps to deal with that situation as we go on. We also must set out the future as we want it. If we don't have an idea of what the future is going to be, then I don't think we can really achieve it. But it's also important that we set out what that future should be to the stakeholders as well. It is only then that the others also will buy in to the future that you are attempting to create. So in that sense, I believe, Lakshman, that for the future, we should attempt to have companies also not only reporting on their past, but in their chairman's statements as well as other statements, to set out what they hope to achieve for the future as well. You would have noticed in the central bank, we have since 2006 set out what we call the roadmap for the future. That actually takes precedence over the annual report itself, in my view. The annual report is no doubt a very important document. It's a historic document which captures the entire progress of a country. I'm talking about the annual report of the central bank. It captures that. But what is even more important is, where does a country want to go? And that's what is set out in the roadmap. So what and where does the company want to go is also important for the stakeholders. It's not that they just get snippets from the media only, but a responsible statement being made by the board of directors about its future course, of the company's future course, in my view, is something that we need to introduce for the future, so that that would hold them accountable. Accountability is not something only that of the past. Accountability does not say your stewardship of the past, but I think at some stage we need to bring accountability for the future. What will this company do? What will the organization do? the same way that what would an economy do, what would a country do. That's always a lot more difficult. It's not easy. It can be fraught with many risks. There could be statements that you sometimes make which may not occur in exactly the same way that you have set it out to be. But nevertheless, you've got to share that vision. You've got to share the direction that you want to take an establishment or an organization. Maybe that's not just only for the accountants to do. It may mean that multi-skills have to come in. It may mean that several different types of skills need to be honed in order to deliver such a document. But yet, for the future, we need to dedicate ourselves to work towards that. When we do a roadmap at the central bank, the entire team of top as well as middle and also at the younger levels all get together to give their opinions, give their inputs, so that we are able to have an integrated approach in that documentation. So that's an important discipline that creates a sense of belonging. It creates a direction. It is only when you have a clear direction that you can move towards that. So I would like to add that proposition to you, Lakshman. You are a man who has been able to carry through many ventures as well as ideas to fruition. It's not everyone who does that. A lot of people can start but not complete. But you have had the opportunity as well as the energy and the ability to do so. So I would like to suggest to you that we look at those areas as well. I also take your point with regard to the usage of the skills that accountants have. You have a special control ability in your discipline, in your thinking, in your learning, in your experience. So I think in value creation, that's a very important integrated part. So in that sense, usage of those skills and application of those skills, particularly at a time when Sri Lanka needs it, I think would be extremely useful for all of us in our way forward. So let me say thank you to the entire council of the CMA. Let me also congratulate all those who have done well in their integrated reporting and are consequently winning various accolades today. And I do hope that as time goes on, you will improve further and you would stand out as being a group of stakeholders as well as directors as well as the pioneers of a reporting standard that many people would attempt to emulate and take forward for the future. Let me once again thank Lakshman Vatawala and his team for the excellent arrangements that he has made, as well as the work that has been done by CMA. And I wish the organization, as well as all those who have been instrumental in putting this together, all success. Thank you very much.